Jack and Nancy Flannery exemplified servant leadership, commitment to our community, and the YMCA's core values. For those reasons and more, the Y is pleased to honor their legacies with an annual award. This award is presented to a person or group of people who embody the spirit of courage. This year's recipient is Lawrence County District Attorney Joshua Lamancusa. Joshua exemplifies courage, commitment to building a strong Lawrence County, and the YMCA's core values of honesty, caring, respect, and responsibility, and has taken an uncommon and unusual approach in his role as District Attorney.
What's unusual and not common is his willingness and his interest in reaching out to the community to help make this a better community, not just in terms of law enforcement, but in terms of any way he can use his office and the people that he can motivate to help the community in many other ways.
He's been an unbelievable district attorney, but he cares about people and he cares very strongly about this community. He's been part of the New Visions movement since it began. He was probably the third or fourth person who endorsed that idea and believed that we could change this community if people changed their attitudes.
I'm not sure where he gets his drive. He takes ownership of a role. He's created this role for himself that's bigger than the district attorney role, I think.
But I think Josh looks at service, whether to the country or the community, as a privilege.
It's always been about the people. I mean, I think that not only is this my home, but the people here are just amazing. And I've had the opportunity and I've been fortunate enough to live and travel to a lot of different places, and we have some of the best people anywhere in the world. And that's always been something that attracted me to the community. It's something that I take pride in, and it's something that I love about where we live.
Well, in regards to the nomination, we were at we had a committee meeting, and as we're aware, we've changed the criteria as to what the recipient is going to look for. Now, of course, Josh came to mind, but I didn't volunteer it myself, and I can't remember if it was Jessica or who it was that made the recommendation that Josh be the recipient. I have to be honest, I was reluctant whenever his name came up. Nothing to do with the fact that he is deserving. Every criteria that's listed within the standard is well within it. The reason I was reluctant is because I know my co-worker, Luann Parkinen, was going to accuse me of being a kiss ass.
Billy is a kiss ass.
I had no intention of ever, running for office, of being a politician, of trying to be the district attorney. I came back to town in 2005 and I began practicing with my father. I actually didn't think that I was going to stay in Newcastle. I had a job lined up for me in DC right after my naval career, and I thought I would come back, practice with my father for a couple years. He would retire, I would help him, and then I'd head to DC. Well, after about 3 years, I realized that my father was never going to retire, and so I started thinking about, what do I really want to do?
In this very room, I was here, and he said to me, "Dad, how'd you get that case thrown out in Mercer County?" And I told him, "Josh, you helped me write the brief, etc." And I argued the case, and we won it. And he looked at me straight in the eye and he says, "You'll never do that to me." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I'm going to run for DA." So we had that conversation and it worked out well. But his first contributor happened to be one of my best clients that I represented through his baseball career, was Chuck Tanner. Came down here purposely to see Josh, wrote a check out to him, and he says, "You're going to be our senator." He says, "No, I want to be the DA."
I tried to put everything I had into the run, and I was fortunate enough to get elected, and I've been here ever since.
He really cares about, his position as an elected official, to answering to the people of Lawrence County. When we would have meetings and stuff for the Drug Task Force, it was always like, look, I answer to the people of this county. So he's genuinely always put the residents of Lawrence County on top. And I think that's why he's had such great success since he's been district attorney.
I have a fantastic team. Every prosecutor, every paralegal, every secretary, every detective, they are all consummate professionals. And also, we all get along, and that really helps. Now, don't get me wrong, as a family, you're always going to have disagreements, and there are times that are tougher than others.
Well, I will tell you, I am the only assistant DA that he ever denied vacation.
Yes, Luann Parganen she is the only person I've ever denied vacation to. You know, I don't even know what to say to that other than it's true.
As well as actually twice. Yeah, he likes to deny me vacation. He scheduled me on a day I was scheduled off and had to go in after the holidays because I was scheduled. So, yeah.
But at the end of the day, the office really functions because we all rally around one thing, and that's, you know, trying to make our community a better place to live.
Well, Joshua came in to the office probably at the time where the opioid epidemic was taking off. And we already had a drug task force established at that point. However, Josh's insight as to the problems within the county itself with regard to that specific issue and whatnot led him to then take it one step further.
We had to create a unit that brought together everyone, that pulled in the townships, combined the city's efforts with the district attorney's office efforts, and also included the state police, the ATF, the DEA, the FBI. I really felt that an inclusive approach to policing was the way to address the problem.
Came up with the idea to have a task force so they can go throughout the county. Obviously, we have needs here in Newcastle that are met, but also there are other needs.
We kind of all fly under the flag of the district attorney's office, which I mean by that. So with jurisdictional purposes, if you have jurisdiction in Newcastle, you know, as a Newcastle police officer, you're not going to have jurisdiction in Union Township or Pulaski or Neshannock. So as being a member of the Special Investigative Unit and becoming a deputized county detective, you can basically effect an arrest anywhere in the county.
And it's been by far the most effective means out of any that we've tried. The cooperative effort, the pooling of resources, that's really what's made the difference in Lawrence County.
How do we match up to other counties? And when I called around, when I looked and I asked, and I hit every part of the state. Philadelphia, and I believe there was one other county above Philadelphia that was only doing things above what we were doing. We were doing things, we were in a class by ourselves, we were above the other counties.
We employ every resource that we can, and the type of policing that we are doing is truly light years away from what was being done.
We have a tremendous working relationship with the district attorney's office, and that wasn't always the case. One of the reasons we have a great working relationship is we share the same mission and the same goals. Josh doesn't care about politics, he don't care about getting credit for anything. His goal is to clean up Newcastle and Lawrence County, and we share that goal. And
working with Bobby has been one of the highlights of my time in office. Bobby and I share pretty much the same philosophy. We believe in the greater good. We believe that no unit, no department, no person can do it all. It has to be a team effort.
When I just got promoted to chief, Josh took me to lunch. I thought he was going to take me somewhere nice. He took me to the cafeteria at Giant Eagle, and we sat down and had a nice talk about leadership. One thing that me and Josh both agreed on, and this is not an 8 to 4 job. He is out day, afternoon, nights, either going to neighborhood watch groups, going to some kind of meetings. Classic example, a couple of years ago on the 4th of July, 1 o'clock in the morning, me and the district attorney are walking through Lower East Side neighborhoods, just walking up and down the streets, talking to people and doing a foot patrol at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think you could find a district attorney in Pennsylvania that would do that at 1 o'clock in the morning. And that says a lot about Josh. He's always available. If you call him, he's there. Sometimes you don't gotta call him, he's there.
Wow, I truly believe that Josh wants Bobby Salem's job as well.
If I can explain to you, he was always dressed in a uniform, whether it be Batman, whatever it would be. And coming in on our street, Josh had these big wheels. They were like plastic things, and all the kids would just follow him.
Yeah, ever since I was young, I mean, I remember dressing up as Batman and running through the neighborhood. I used to have a ninja costume that I would, do patrols at night. And
Josh has had a long dream, I think, of being a Newcastle police officer. And, we put some hidden cameras in there. We caught him at my desk. And, that's always been his dream, to be a Newcastle police officer. And we finally caught him there.
So you guys just humor him, let him do citizen ride along?
Yeah, we let him ride with us, makes him feel good. One day we might even give him a badge or something.
At the end of the day, I love cops. I do. There's something that I think is truly noble about them. They're not paid a lot of money. They put on a uniform, they put on a badge, and they charge into places that most people run out of.
Even though our job is to essentially to make sure that justice is served, and frequently that means that we need to put bad guys in jail, that doesn't help our community. What helps our community is giving these people the ability to get back on the street, to get jobs, to become productive, hopefully to beat whatever addiction problem that they have come into, because warehousing these individuals does not help the county, doesn't help the state, doesn't help the community.
Going back a few years, we started the Lawrence County Adult Drug Court Program. And of course, Josh was a big supporter in getting that program off the ground. As a matter of fact, he assigned somebody from his office, specifically Assistant District Attorney Diane Schaefer, to provide a lot of the legwork to get that program up and running.
Drug Court is a last chance program that offers people with serious drug problems a chance to get their life back on track, provided that they're willing to turn their life over to the Drug Court program. And the Drug Court program itself controls every aspect of an addict's life, everything from where they live, who they date, whether or not they can work, where they work. It is a program that really gets into the weeds of a person's life and makes sure that they are going to rehab, that they're going to their meetings, and that they're trying to provide a positive influence to get them firmly on the road to recovery.
And quite frankly, it saved lives.
It has been a fantastic program in Lawrence County, and it is headed by Judge Motto. He's just one of those people that everyone likes, everyone respects, and he's a good man and a very good judge. But this drug court program would not be as successful as it is without Judge Motto. And we have had tremendous success that I believe we are in the top 5 drug courts in the entire state of Pennsylvania. And the drug court itself sort of takes the same approach as the Special Investigations Unit, and that's the belief that there has to be a team effort to address the problems that we are having in Lawrence County, and particularly a team effort to address the problems of a drug court participant. So you have the Adult Probation Office, you have the DA's office, you have the Public Defender's Office, who is being run by Larry Keith, who does a fantastic job. If I ever got in trouble, I think I'd probably hire Larry Keith. But it's just a collection of all of the best advocates in our community, drug and alcohol, the Recovery Coalition, and all of these people have got together and they have made it their sole purpose, their mission, to help one person get back on the road to recovery and reestablish their life. And then they just replicate it over and over and over again.
Like, it's not just, hey, let's go out and arrest these people. There are people that deserve to go to jail, and there are people that don't. They need help. And that's what he tries to do.
And if you ever get an opportunity to go to a drug court graduation, it is an extremely emotional experience. Our one prosecutor, she is the DA's office for the drug court, I can't think of a thing that would ever make her cry. But at every one of these drug court presentations, she cries like a little girl. Diane Schaefer.
And in addition to creating the program, the district attorney also developed the Jail to Jobs program. So many of our participants in the drug court program, because of Jobs to Jail, or Jail to Jobs I should say, were able to get fine employment and thereby enhance their rehabilitation efforts. That was critical.
Giving those people that have done their time, You know, they've been convicted, they've served their sentences, whatever it may have been, and it's time to reintegrate them into society again, and the Jail to Jobs program was a big step towards doing that. You know, Gary Philippone is the liaison in our office with the Jail to Jobs program, and he has established contacts with, with many, many employers that allows these people to be gainfully employed where they wouldn't otherwise have that chance.
The first time that me and Josh actually spoke about it, he told me the story about how he met a young man in the courtroom, and he told him about how many times he's been getting rejected by job offers, and he brought in all of his rejection letters, and that's what really wanted to make Josh jumpstart the program. A lot of guys got help. Some of them we could not get help, but just for every single person that we did help get a job, for a lot of them it's been life-changing.
And it's making a big difference. The Jail to Jobs program, I mean, we have people seeking us out. There are people, despite the overall consensus in the county or in, in the United States, basically, concerning criminals or whatnot, there are people that want to work. There are people that once they've made their mistakes want to make a difference in their own lives and maybe as well as lives of others, whether it be a victim or a defendant in that respect. But this Jail to Jobs program is definitely revolutionary in that it allows them that second chance.
This is by far one of our most successful programs, and when I look back, when I'm no longer the district attorney and I look back, this is a program that I know I'm going to be proud of. And I know that we will have made a difference in a lot of people's lives.
He cares about the people. He cares about the people we arrest. I mean, he cares about the citizens of the communities. Not that I say you don't see that, obviously people do, but he really generally cares about them.
Josh also has a good heart. He's very kind-hearted. One year, Carmen and I were in Seattle with Josh, and we took him to the Pikes Market. And as you approach it, there's a lot of homeless people sitting around on the ground begging, and Carmen gave money to one, but Joshua wanted him to give money to everyone. He was very upset when we did not do that, because he just has a soft spot for people, and he just has a lot of compassion.
Honestly, it starts with his parents, really. And I'm not just saying that. But I'm like, where has he gotten this? And he comes from just this home where he watched his dad and, growing up. And I mean, the more I get to know his dad, I know this isn't about, Mr. Lamancusa, but he's just a good person, and he's that way. He sees good in everybody. And he helps so many people that nobody even knows how many people he helps. I'm talking about Carmen. But so Josh grew up with that.
One thing about Carmen and his family were that they were born and raised up in with the same values as our families. Honesty, you lived whatever you said you did. And Josh he reflects his father's upbringing as much as anything else.
Crazy that you think of a DA and you're usually the one that's going after the bad guys, not trying to help them. But that's just what he wants to get back, and not only our programs, just everything else. All day today we've been prepping and talking about our ice rink that he got involved in. He just goes outside the box so much. Our office is doing so many things that you would never really see a district attorney's office being involved in, but that's just, he wants to better our community.
So last year, maybe around this time, I went to Josh with a wild idea of bringing an outdoor ice skating rink to downtown Newcastle. And he looked at me not with the crazy eyes that everybody else had up until that point, but he looked at me with sincerity and said, "We are gonna make this happen." And we did. We had tons of community partners that poured into this project, and Josh believed, and we all believed, that it was kind of a turning point for our community. It was a source of hope, and as some people described, as we had created a scene from a Hallmark movie, and that was awesome to work with Josh on that and see it come to fruition, and we're already in motion for that again this year.
Project Oasis came about when it was a drug raid in 2011. I actually was standing on the street with one of my prosecutors, and we were looking around, and the neighborhood just looked like a war zone. garbage everywhere, broken windows. And so what we decided to do was we decided to reach out to the city, and we worked with Public Works, we worked with Parks and Recreation, even reached out to the county. And we thought, you know, we are gonna do street by street cleanups.
They were targeting 3 streets at a time, trying to just push out all narcotics, clean up the area, neighborhood revitalization, and then it actually kind of slowly turned into just a neighborhood cleanup on a weekly basis. And for about 3 years, we went every Thursday, a joint effort between the district attorney's office and adult probation. We pick a street or two or a section of Newcastle and even the townships, and we would just go in and have our community service people clean up trash.
He doesn't just talk it, he'll walk the walk, and he'll get down and do whatever he needs to do, and he tries to help people.
We have to literally convince people he's the district attorney. Like when we go to narcotics trainings and stuff, you know, we're all hanging out. They'll be like, he's not your DA. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you that's our DA. No, he's not your DA. Dude, I'm telling you that's our DA. You know, so he'll think nothing of putting a suit on. He'll give a presentation. He'll get right out of the suit, put a pair of jeans and a t-shirt on, and hang out. And you would just think, you would never know.
It doesn't matter who you are. It's the same Joshua you get no matter what position or station you are in life. I mean, Joshua's Joshua. What you see is what you get.
The courts send me these community workers, and I had just wanted, I knew he was a great painter. Josh needed some offices painted over here. So I sent him over. We brought the paint and everything over, introduced him to Josh. He painted 3 days over here. Josh couldn't get over what an excellent job he'd done. Josh bought him lunch every day. Pop, he'd buy him water, snacks. He did that for 3 days. When he was finished, he'd come back to my office. He said he was never, ever, ever treated like that for, you know, having to do community service. He thought, especially working over here in the DA's, that he'd be against him or anything. I said, he's not that type of a guy. He said he just couldn't believe that Josh was that good-hearted in that. But when I see this Jason now, instead of him asking me, how's Frank? He says, how's Josh doing?
Josh is able to connect very easily with the people he maybe has never seen before. He may know one person in that group, but he would be able to just draw everyone and look them right in the eye. His sense of humor is unparalleled. And then he has the ability to get very serious in the next sentence.
People see him and he's friendly and helpful and funny, and that's his true self. He's not like putting on a show. And so that's probably how he does it so well and how he doesn't burn out, because he's not faking it.
Tell everybody that doesn't know Josh, if I had to describe him, he is just a genuine person and just really, really put his heart and soul into his career as district attorney. And I respect him so much just for what he's done since he's been district attorney.
I have something in this particular room. It's a roulette wheel. And people come in here and I tell them, in cases that I've handled with Josh in here, that it requires a lot of work to win, and you got to be lucky. Joshua puts work before luck in every situation, and he'll render a service whatever it may be.
It's not typical. He goes beyond the norm. What he does is probably more than any district attorney I've ever seen do here or in any other county, because he just cares about this community, and he constantly comes up with innovative ways to benefit us. It's not normal. It's very unusual, but certainly for Lawrence County, it's a blessing.